Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd show you another update on the Star Trek ship. Kind of like the weekly update, but I am starting to see the end in sight. Probably a couple more weeks, and I think I'll have this thing wrapped up. But I do have some new areas to show in kind of an experimental holodeck, and some more areas completed. And then I wanted to run a question by you regarding the old question of solar panels. And the reason why I'm asking again is I kind of made an error on my last video. I was confusing the update for Reforged Eden to actually be Reforged Eden 2. So the parts I was looking to add into the ship that are basically a replacement to solar panel, or a part that will create residual energy that you can place in a ship, in a moving ship, isn't here yet, and it won't be for quite some time, probably not until sometime next year. So it's going to be a while, and I wanted to just float the idea of possibly adding solar panel compartments again to this ship. It would be kind of nice to have it, especially if you're going to use the ship in gameplay. It would be nice to have residual power. Anyway, think about that one, but I want to show you a few different locations on the ship, and one thing that I'm pretty happy with actually is the new holodeck, but I did rebuild a couple room areas in the ship as well. To start with here, this is the Brig. I don't have any LCD up here yet. I got to do a lot of LCD work. The Brig's no big deal. It was fairly quick, and I might try to revise it a little bit more, but essentially it does have a one of these landing bays over here, or like a little hangar bay that you can take in a prisoner or something and check them in, and then run them into the cells over here. So it's got like 4 different cells, and they got like what you'd expect to see in a cell. This one actually has 2 bathrooms in it. That's kind of weird. And I got one over here that doesn't have any bathrooms in it. And I'm using force fields for the doors right now. Not necessarily a good idea though, because they are airtight, and unfortunately I want it to share the O2. So I got to work that out. I might, if worst case scenario, I go back to like a LCD laser fence kind of thing for the cell doors. That's another option that can work out all right. Another thing is we'll just follow this up along this way. I did complete this whole walkway all the way around the front of the saucer. So the other side's completed. It is asymmetrically different than what this side is, except for this slight corridor right here. Even that's a little bit different. And then I ended up rebuilding the cafeteria. And I changed the color scheme in this area as well. I had it blue last time, and I'll probably do a different deck in that blue tone, but it just was clashing, and I didn't really like it going from red to blue, and it seemed like it was all on the same deck, and it should be all the same colors on the same deck. So that was something. Anyway, the new cafeteria is switched around a lot. I had a lot of problems with the older one, and the reason for that is this is kind of at the front of the ship, and it's using a lot of structural frame blocks. You can't paint them, you can't texture them. I got to keep them the same color they are, and this whole floor space, or a lot of the floor space down below here, was made up of that, and it didn't. In the past version of this, it did not have this this rise up over here. So basically, I filled it all in with all these blocks, so I could cover up those structural frame blocks, and then I could paint everything accordingly. And then I kind of changed the design in here too. Last time it was kind of a conventional looking, like a restaurant kind of thing, like you would have a bartender or something back there, and it had your regular cabinetry around here. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. This is Star Trek. People go to a cafeteria, they'll go up to a like a food replicator, and then they'll tell it whatever they want, and it'll print it out for them, and then they go sit and eat. So there is no person there that's like feeding like a cafeteria style thing going on. It's all replicated food, and you can pretty much have everything you want. You don't need any waiters. So it no longer has that going on. It does have a sink, does have like some kind of weird fridge back there, and an actual legit fridge over here. And that part going on there now. But it's generally more detailed because everything could be painted, and I try to make the structure up here look kind of all right, using a little bit different flooring in here. I thought it seemed to work for it. But let's get out of here and show you the area that I'm kind of most excited about, and that is the holodeck. So the holodeck, I did a holodeck in the Proxima, and that was a lot of fun to do. It was and that was doing a Bajoran spa. This one I wanted to do a holodeck again in, and I had a little bit more room to work with this time too, which is kind of neat. So to start with, the general format just is done the same way. Also, I modified this hallway here too. This used to kind of curve out in this direction, and it was kind of weird. And now it goes straight through, so it'll take you basically right to the cafeteria, and then across all the other stuff like the sick bay and the production area and the farming section and all that. But anyway, let me get in here a minute. So same general design walking into the holodeck. You got these LCD walls that are trying to blank things out so you don't see it. However, you can still kind of see through the one over there. I can't really do anything about it. This is the highest intensity, most solid opaque LCD I could put in here. If I try to go any other colors or anything like that, it's even worse. So anyway, this is of the Vulcan High Console. So this is kind of my, I wouldn't say 3 full attempts, but kind of a third attempt at doing the holodeck on this ship. I first started out doing some kind of Klingon thing I wasn't liking, and then I tried something else that didn't even look like it fit in Star Trek. And then I was thinking about the reboot Star Trek movie where Vulcan gets destroyed, but before that happens, Spock had to go and talk to the Vulcan High Console, and that's kind of what this is about. So I went up online and I found some interior pictures here and there of Vulcan stuff. It wasn't a lot to pick from, and a lot of the stuff has to do with the city of Vulcan, or whatever it was called, and a lot of stone-based textures and things like that I can't do, especially because this is a CV and I can't use concrete or the stone textures. So I found one ship, supposedly a Vulcan ship, but just a picture, and it kind of adopted the color scheme and things like that, sort of, and then try to make this. Now, this isn't really trying to be as what was seen in the movie. It's just kind of my own thing. But anyway, let me show you what's going on here. So, kind of a new theme and style for me. It's going into this kind of bronzy, goldish looking materials or colors, and it's mixing in some grays with that, and it's using some blue texture lights. But something that I tried in here that I never tried before or even thought of was what I'm trying to do is simulate that this particular room here, or this area, this space, is actually in a building on the surface of Vulcan. And so what I'm doing is I'm using LCDs kind of meshed in with the block work around the ceiling and the wall and various places in the room to try to create that illusion that you're looking outside when you're really not. Of course, this is a self-contained windowless room on this ship. So I sort of like the effect. I tried a couple different colors here with the LCDs as well. I can't really pick the color. It's using the background color, and there's only so many options. But this option versus like the orange and the yellow and stuff looked to me the most realistic. Like it's trying to simulate a very hazy, kind of more of an arid desert like outside. Of course, you can't see any detail through here. I just got to assume that there's a storm and it's super hazy and you can't see nothing. But that was kind of the idea, and I did more of that over here. Now over here, you can kind of see a little bit of a break in the illusion because I do have some lights up here that are trying to make it look like there's some light coming in from these windows, which are not actually windows, which is interesting. But the whole idea of this room is basically a person that's going to come up and talk to the high console of Vulcan would come up on this little pedestal over here, and then up on the wall here you got 3 locations for the 3 high console members that would kind of look down at the person that's talking to them and work out whatever they're talking about, and that's kind of the thing. So there's like an area here and there for this room area, and then beyond that it's just some extra stuff. I had more space to fill in, so I put in like a little sitting area over here and a couple tables over on the side. It's not like a bar or a restaurant or anything like that. It's just supposed to be the Vulcan High Console. But I generally kind of like how this came out. I know it's not very accurate at all to the stuff. The general idea is the same though. It's talking to the console members. But yeah, this was kind of fun doing this. It just with the LCD thing, it was kind of added in something that it just never really did anything quite like it before, and never really a reason to, I guess. But yeah, it sort of works for this room. So that part's been done. Um, Other areas, I've been tweaking and touching up other areas, adding in little things here and there. I did change the look of the Pentaxid farm some more again. It's still the general same block work that was here, and I'm probably going to change it some more. But I did get rid of the purple color thing I had going around on the screen. I made this whole area look grungier on purpose, like it's Pentaxid farm, it's hostile growing stuff, it's more of a thing. Oh, looks like I missed a little chunk of purple there. I had a purple, like this upper layer of the wall was all this purple color, and it just wasn't doing it for me. Just felt kind of out of place. But I got a lot more work to do to this room. It's totally not done yet. I haven't added in switches for the grow lights, fridges. I got some painting problems here and there, and I'll probably change the blocks around as well. So there is that. Now, back to the first thing I was talking about is solar. Obviously, these replacement parts aren't going to be around for a long time yet, and I'm kind of wanting to put solar panels in the ship, not on the ship, not visible, but I've got some locations. Like I started working out like one of these crew rooms over here, and I got to paint this and finish it up and everything like that. But I had this area above the cafeteria that is kind of a waste zone. I got like this full block row here, but I mean, a lot of this is either turrets or structural frame blocks or some Xeno blocks and all kinds of stuff. I can't really cut into the ceiling. I can't paint anything. I really can't. Well, I can paint very little. I can't paint enough to make it convincing in here because there's too many areas that I can't paint. So and I'm like, well, that would fit 8 large solar panels quite nicely. And then I could do like a little structure in the middle here, kind of make it look like it's engineering and call it a day. So I got 8 solar panels in this room, and it's out of the way of these crew rooms too. It's like it's really not in the way. And honestly, if I did put crew rooms here, they would be really ugly looking because there's almost nothing I can do besides put in walls. That's about it. So there's that, and then there's another room over here that I'm going to actually move the door over another notch so it fits a little bit better here. But there's a couple more solar panels in this side room here. Of course, all these areas would give you access to it, and the ship doesn't have to come with the solar panels, but I'm trying to put them in these out of the way places for now that you would never even know they're there unless you went looking for them or knew they're there. So right now it's got 8 in the middle. It's got another 4 or 2 per side, so it's got 12 large solar panels there. There's another room somewhere, I forget where, but another location that has a couple more solar panels, and I've got some other rooms to put many other solar panels in as well. So overall, I'm pretty happy that this whole the largest deck or the biggest area of the ship is actually kind of all done up now, and there's some other miscellaneous rooms in the area too. Like this one's pretty much unfurnished. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to put in here yet. It's probably something. But then there's this weird closet room over here, which also could be used to house some solar panels, but probably the smaller size solar panel in this room. It's one of those weird little locations. There's a lot of weird little locations like that throughout the ship. I didn't actually mean to go in there. Hold on a second. Let me go up a floor. This is the big area. This is my next big project is to do the bridge section of the ship. And this is going to take a little while to do that. But kind of looking forward to that. But I've got some other miscellaneous areas like this room way up here. I don't really, again, structural frame blocks, you can kind of see the difference in the shading tint on the structural frame blocks versus the standard blocks. And like this area here might be another prime candidate area to put some solar panels, and you would never really know they were there because I would kind of wall it off in front of it, and I want to cover up a lot of this kind of stuff anyway. So let me know your take on the solar panels. Again, I kind of wanted to hold off on the solar panels and not put them in the ship originally, and that's why I'm making kind of a thing out of it now, is because now I kind of changed my mind because I would really like that residual power in this ship. Now this room over here right off the back of the bridge, This is, I believe, going to be the transporter room. And this one here, I can manipulate a lot of the blocks around, and I think I could come up with a design that looks pretty decent to hold the teleporter and that kind of thing. And it's close, really close to the main bridge, right off from the main hallway or the main elevator going through the ship as well. I did some other miscellaneous little things in places, but not really much to show. I started working a little bit on the hangar, trying to detail that more, but I'm not quite done with that either. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment, but I'm well on my way to getting this thing done, I think. One other thing, too, looking at the main core room, I did populate the ship with all the needed cores for the current CPU, which is coming out to 10 auxiliary cores and 11 quantum cores. And literally, I realized that my room that's holding the cores isn't big enough. I don't have slots for all the cores that the ship even needs with all the shield parts and everything installed. Now, one other little thing, if we look at specs here, the shield's way off right now. I've got all the parts installed, but what I got to do is I got to swap out a couple of the large chargers for the banks instead, and then this should get up into the 160,000 shield range. It was freaking me out. I'm like, why is this only 68,000 shield? I got all the almost the full complement of shield parts in the ship except for two banks right now, but they happen to be the large banks, and they're in place of chargers, was actually reduce the shield strength. But they'll help it charge faster. So this room has to be modified and changed. On the captain's yacht deck, let me see if I can find that somewhere. It would probably be a lot easier if I just took the elevator, but I don't have any signs up here right now. So, oh yeah, this area here, I had this as a science laboratory, but it didn't make any sense because the captain's yacht area is actually right through here. So I changed what's in this room. It's the same room, but it's now just kind of a lounge area, and then there's going to be like your administrative crew rooms and stuff off to the sides here. So I'm not going to have the science lab here anymore. It just didn't make any sense because the only way through to the captain's yacht was to walk through a science lab, which makes absolutely no sense at all. Like you don't want people just randomly walking through the science lab. You know what I'm saying? So off to the side over here, there's going to be several crew rooms, your larger rooms, especially for the captain's room and like first officer and that kind of thing. Probably be like 4 to 6 rooms in this general area here that all kind of meet up to the captain's yacht deck of the ship, I guess you could say. So that's gonna be worked out there. A couple other modifications that were done. Nope, not here. Yeah, I started. I got a lot more to do this. I still haven't done the thing I wanted to do with the floor, but I started adding a little bit more detail into the hangar. I got more to go though. I still like the hangar better on the Proxima than I do on this ship. It's a smaller hangar on the Proxima, but I just like the way it looked a little bit better than what's going on here. This looks really kind of plain Jane. I'm trying to get, again, more detail and things going on in here, and I did add in some fuel bays with some real fuel tanks back there, and this little orange thing up here so far. But I plan on doing more, and I plan on chopping through the floor a little bit and kind of making it look a little neater, like some grates and stuff, so you can kind of see like the floor below it and stuff like that. And then back to the solar panel thing, I've got another big location that would really work out pretty well to hold some solar panels if I can find it. I got to go back over here. And that's this room above the hangar. Again, it could fit a whole lot of solar panels in here as well. So let me know what you think about that. Again, originally I didn't want to put solar panels in the ship like I did with the Proxima. The Proxima, you put them in all like the crew rooms and things like that. Didn't really want to do it with this ship, but those other parts are so far away, and I really want the ship being capable of having residual power without the fusion reactors turned on all the time. Like if you're just sitting here, thrusters off, I don't know, doing some farming or offline when you're on a server or something like that. I'd much rather have the ship just have power where you're not like burning through all kinds of fuel and trying to keep like the big reactors online. It's always an option too where I could put in a smaller power generator or two, like the 1x3s somewhere, for other purposes like keeping the farm going. But if I had the solar panels, I think that would be plenty enough power for that. And then I wouldn't need to add the more CPU intensive other generators that also use fuel. And it would just kind of make sense. If I can go with residual power, I think that would just be a much better thing as opposed to having anything that's sucking the fuel down. Now, when the ship's in full motion and doing its thing and flying around and stuff, of course, running 2 fusion reactors, I'm sure eats up a fair amount of fuel. So I don't expect this exactly to be fuel efficient by any stretch. But at the same time, I still kind of like the idea of the solar panels in there as residual power. Now, when that Reforged Eden 2 comes out, this might be a prime candidate to get a good looking at and maybe try to incorporate those new parts into the ship. And I got plenty of different rooms and places to do it. I could rip out the solar panels in the rooms, which would be really quick and easy to do, and replace them with the newer parts at that time. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at with it. The number of rooms and places I've got to do yet are it's getting reduced a lot. I'm really happy to get that holodeck out of the way, but I've got one more big project to do, and that is the bridge. And then I've got probably 6, 8 crew areas and rooms to do up, and then like this the teleporter room, or I'm sorry, transporter room. And I also need a main CPU core room somewhere yet. I still got the main CPU core just kind of sitting up in this empty space over here. So that's not going to be there. So a couple rooms right up here that I got to, well, actually just this one, and I even did that one. So just this room over here, the room above the hangar, in the bridge area, and a couple of those crew rooms down along the main saucer area, like over here, is what I got to do. This basically when it goes downstairs from this main hallway here, and even in this area, I was thinking about maybe dumping some solar panels here as well. Again, there's a lot of things that mess these rooms up, like retractable turrets, structural frame blocks, and things that just make it so you really can't make the rooms look very good even if you wanted to in places, especially around the edges up here. So great place for solar panels. So let me know what you think of that, and also, did you like the holodeck and the look of the holodeck? Again, I was trying a bunch of different things, and I ended up with this Vulcan theme, and I actually kind of liked it. So it's got a couple new colors to the palette too, and even in that room there, I was using 2 different tones for the shades on the walls there. We don't have to look at that again. But anyway, that's pretty much all I've got for today's video. I just wanted to show you the different things that were done. And I probably spent way too much time on the holodeck. But right now I'm kind of looking at I'm thinking I might be able to get this thing pretty much wrapped up in like another couple weeks. I can finish up the rooms. I got to do more detailing. I got to rig everything. I got to work out some LCDs in places. And a lot of stuff that just can be fairly time consuming. But for the most part, I mean, I'd probably say a good 80% of the interior is done up at this point in time. And I've got, some miscellaneous rooms. The biggest area, of course, is the bridge section, which I'm going to really want to do nicely, or the best I can figure out how to do. I do have some room in here to work with, which is awfully nice. Again, at the last thing, I know I covered this before, it will have like a little first-person view out of the ship, just like the Proxima had as well. So anyway, that's all I've got for today. I know it didn't seem like that much, but there was actually kind of a lot of time and effort put into what was there. Especially I'm trying to go through some of the rooms I don't like and fix them up as well, because I want to have everything as nice as I can figure out how to get it, basically. So anyway, you all have yourself a great day, and I will talk to you later.